I don't know what more you want me to remember.
What are you gonna do?
He's now or never.
Hello.
A very small movie that I think could find a bit of a late resurgence depending on how the reception for it is. It's a movie called Nickel Boys. I don't know if this has the juice in terms of the popular embrace, but from an artistic standpoint and the push from the cinephile community, look out for this being sort of the late entry surge, taking a stab at this open field of an awards race. The closest comparison, at least to last year's nominees, is The Zone of Interest, a really artsy, somewhat heavy historical drama that really, challenges what we know of our own history. And Nickel Boys is specifically Jim Crow South in the United States, as opposed to Germany in World War II and the Holocaust with The Zone of Interest. This movie is based on a novel by Colson Whitehead called The Nickel Boys, and it's based on a true story of a school right here in Florida, actually very close to where we grew up in Tallahassee. And it's the fictional version of it is called the Nickel Academy, but the real life version is the Dozier School for Boys, otherwise known as the Florida School for Boys, in Marianna, right near Tally. This was going down in the 60s and even way after and way before then, but that's when this story takes place. These two boys, Elwood and Turner, who are sent to this reform school. I'm trying to gauge how much I can give away about this movie without sort of, giving away all the goodies that are in it. But I think the main hook I can give away is that this movie is told entirely from a first person point of view. It's very bold, very, very bold artistic decision by director RaMell Ross, who made a documentary called Hale County this evening, came out a few years ago, 2018. And this is his second movie. So first movie is a documentary. Second movie is this bold, innovative, artistic narrative based on real life. So this could definitely be something that not just the cinephile community, but the Academy latches onto as something to celebrate, because this movie is so effective. It hits so hard. It's so incredibly well made, and it feels really important, but also fresh and new. It kind of has a little bit of everything when it comes to the types of things that artistically the Oscars like to reward. And much like The Zone of Interest, it's not something I would call fun or entertaining. It's a very heavy story, but it doesn't quite go as far as The Zone of Interest in terms of being so demanding. And I don't know, maybe there are people that might disagree with that in terms of Zone of Interest being an incredibly demanding movie, but that movie hit me very, very hard. That's not a movie I would recommend lightly as just something to throw on. And that's kind of where I'm at with Nickel Boys, is that it is a relatively heavy movie about racial profiling, abuse. This is a reform school where very dark shit happened. You can probably assume all of it and watch the movie to know the details or read up on it on Wikipedia. I don't want to get into it here because I think the movie does a really great job at sort of pulling you in and taking you through the literal point of view of these boys and what they experience. They're not real people. These are not necessarily based on exact real people that lived through this, but this did happen. This is a real school that actually existed, and it's based on actual people. So it takes the pieces of reality and forms this new narrative out of it. And it's kind of unlike anything I've ever seen. I don't recall any other movie that chooses to tell its story in this way and is able to deliver as effectively as this does. So it's one of my favorites of the year. Again, it's not one that I would say watch 2 or 3 times to really get a lot out of it. It's one where you kind of just watch it the one time and really feel it and really let it sort of seep and soak into your feels. But man, if it goes unnoticed and unrewarded, I would be very upset and very bummed out because it is an incredible movie.
See, I don't think it's going to go completely unnoticed because I think I was talking about Honora earlier. It seems like Nickel Boys is kind of right there in the conversation for like the critics' darling of the year. Like critics fucking love this movie. And usually like that is the thing, like Zone of Interest got nominated for Best Picture. Now, granted, that's also an international movie and huge international body, blah, blah, blah. But like that is something that I do think does give it a chance to get some additional legs to it. This movie gets a nomination for Best Picture, and that's going to grow the audience like tenfold for just casual viewers that are going to want to seek out this movie. I did want to ask, because I knew about this movie months ago because of the first person point of view thing. And it sounded, just on its surface, it seems a little gimmicky. It's like, oh, they're doing the thing that Hardcore Henry did where they're going first person POV. Hardcore Henry had a ground inspirational film that more movies are following.
It changed cinema.
It changed cinema forever. But did you find it distracting, at least at first, to like how long until you like really settled in to the way that the movie was being told?
It honestly does feel a little gimmicky. It's kind of hard to get around that because it's literally the entire movie. There are some bits where you do cut to some historical archive footage. And there's very select moments where it does like an out of body shot where you're actually looking at the back of the guy's head. The camera sort of fixed to his head and you're not in his actual POV. But for the most part, it is literally every single shot, every single scene. So it takes a little bit to get used to. And there are sequences where I did feel a bit of a struggle. I wouldn't go as far as to say struggle, but a slight
you notice
bump.
It though. Yeah, you bump up against it just a little bit.
Yeah. But the movie is so good. It's so damn effective that after a while, you are incredibly immersed in the story and you're there. I mean, dude, like I said, it's unlike anything I've seen. Like I've never seen a movie that just commits to this idea and executes to the extent that it does. Yeah, there is an adjustment period, definitely. I can't deny that, but it definitely pays off. I mean, it's worth it.
Nice. That's good. I'm really excited to check this one out. I've heard nothing but like insanely positive things about it. So
yeah, I was gonna shout out some of the actors as well, but there are a bunch of unknowns. Folks wouldn't know them. I hope that they get work after this because they're very, very good. And you do see them. The movie has a neat trick where it's from the point of view of 2 boys. So sometimes you're one of the boys and sometimes you're the other one. and so you get to see each one as you jump perspectives. So
I was really hoping you're like, he's got like great hands. You see him like walking around like NPC mode.
Well, it's crazy because I listened to an interview with the director on the DGA podcast, and he was talking about how at a certain point the camera operator is the performer. You know, it's not just the actor, but it's like the guy working the camera. And they found neat ways to combine that and work around that. But yeah, very, very well done film. Heavy subject matter, 100% worth it. Recommend it if you're ready for, you know, that level of cinema that lands in a big way.
Hefty.
That's Nickel, boys.